And so tonight's topic is, God, it sounds simple, but it's so not. Why can't I seem to lose weight? And this is not a topic to be covered in 15 minutes. But with that being said, I would say that you really have to start to look at a cadre of things. Like, start with where's your cell health and what's your body composition look like? Are you within a good muscle mass? So, are you good muscle mass, good composition, but over body fat? Or are you what we call sarcopenic? Are you someone who has excess weight and is what we call fluffy? So, all of a sudden, you have issues with no muscle mass. And so then what happens is it kind of depends on where you fall into place. And then once we start to look at body types, you also have to start to look at the most important thing, which Jessica takes care of, which is hormones. How do your hormones look? How do the hormones play into weight loss and weight gain and weight everything?
Well, they have a lot to do with your metabolism and your energy.
And mitochondrial health, cell health. If you don't have what is it, estrogen? Estrogen affects cell health tremendously. And if your cells aren't healthy, then you don't produce energy. The electron transport chain doesn't work. So, weight loss is not a simple myopic thing. Um, I've written down several notes. Boy, if it was easy. Um, you know, what age are you? Because after age 25, metabolism slows down, cellular health starts, or cellular mechanisms, which is metabolism, that slows down. Your hormones start to not be produced as much. Testosterone starts to slow down, so you can't maintain muscle mass, which doesn't allow you to burn up the excess calories. And I guess we should start there, really. You know, how are you eating? What are you eating? Are you eating ultra processed foods? So are you giving your body tons of calories but no nutrition? And so this topic doesn't lend itself to an easy answer by any means. And, you know, the United States is one of the most obese countries in the world, and our health is just crap. And that boils down to basically our food system. Um, on that note, there is a book that I am reading. Jessica's hard copy comes in. And this book called Good Energy allows you to start to lay a foundation. And it goes over the things you shouldn't eat. It goes over the things that you have in your cabinets that you should get out of your cabinets. Because the more that you have a baseline, fundamental, foundational health, the easier it is to recover from whatever insult you may have. And so Dr. Means does a very good job. She's a Stanford educated medical doctor. And then she went in to do her ENT residency. And she just saw how sick people were and she walked away from it, which was quite amazing. And then she went to the same school that I went to, which is the Institute for Functional Medicine, and became a doctor that deals with functional medicine, deals with foundational health. I won't ruin the book. Go get it. It is well worth the read. It kind of tells you how we are where we are. And then I'll go back to the other statistics, just talking about foundational health. We're 4% of the world's population, we're 17% of the deaths. And so that doesn't jive. Why? And when you start to ask those questions, then you start to figure out, oh, well, a lot of it's our food system, but people change their diets and they can eat perfectly, yet they are weight resistant. And why is that? Now you're looking at what are the endocrine disruptors? What pollution do they have in their body? Do they detox well? Um, I do like to go back to cell health quite a bit because a lot of things start to click when cell health is in that normal range. Actually, if you live locally and you want to do a BIA, get in contact with us and we will do a free BIA and show you, where's the water in your cell? How much muscle mass do you have? What's your phase angle, which is cell health? And then you can start to get a metric of where you are and then figure out where you want to go. Because once again, weight loss also isn't the only metric. Um, when we see patients all the time who come in and they want to lose weight, but as they want to lose weight, when we do a body composition analysis, they don't have the muscle mass. And so this person has to get the muscle mass on before the body feels okay to start to let some of that excess go. And when I talk about that, what about stress? How's cortisol? If cortisol is high, blood sugar is high. If blood sugar is high, insulin's high. If insulin's high, guess what? You're going to pack on weight. And so, what looks like a relatively easy and simple question to answer is actually not. It's actually quite complex. The younger you are, typically the easier it is. Most of the times, the younger you are, the more we can have you work out. And if you calorie restrict, you lose weight pretty easily. Problem is, you haven't fixed anything. And when you get older, that will fail. Um, Consumption. What are you eating? Are you eating ultra processed foods? And I alluded to this earlier. Ultra processed foods or processed foods are calorically dense, nutritionally devoid. So you are hungry. Think about this. Who owns most, if not all, of the ultra processed food companies? Do you know who owns almost all of them?
Mm-hmm.
Let them lay it on them.
Tobacco companies.
And what were tobacco companies fabulous at doing?
Addicting people by putting chemicals in.
Yep. And if you look at the amount of chemicals in our food, you can start to see why we have a problem. What we eat is not compatible with our biology. And then the body is a system. And if you start to mess with that system, then there are bad consequences. And then last but not least, if you're not eating fiber and you're not eating good things, then people get dysbiosis. And when you see all those things that are high, they naturally stay inflamed. And so those things have to be addressed as well. And like I said, when I saw this topic, because we don't pick the topics, other people do. When I saw this topic, I was like, oh God, this is not simple. It'd be great if it was like Coca-Cola and the soda companies want you to believe, oh, hey, it doesn't matter. Everything in moderation. And as long as you keep it in moderation, you're okay. That's just BS. Moderation went out the window a long time ago. And so everything in moderation doesn't work anymore. It might have worked in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. But just look at our population. We're 60 or 70% obese now, and it doesn't bode well for us. What was the statistic we heard the other day on Manjaro or whatever it was, that if the law passes, what was that going to cost?
$3 billion a year.
No, it's trillion.
Trillion. 3 trillion.
So everybody loves this weight loss drug that is coming out now called Manjaro and tirzepatide or whatever it is. And so they want to start to give that to people as young as 6 years old. And if that goes through, it will cost more than our military budget. You are looking at a $3 trillion tax burden.
Well,
That'll come to the people.
I think they said it would bankrupt the company or the United States in 6 months.
And so that's nuts. And that company isn't even American owned. So that money doesn't go back into the US economy. It's Danish owned. And so,
And a tidbit is they don't even allow their people of their country to utilize it because they require that they change their diet and exercise and lifestyle.
so I mean, we've beat this into the ground. I see there are a few people online. If you have any questions, pop them into the chat. But otherwise, you know, once again, this is not an easy subject. And for America, it is a matter of national security. There was a percentage of people now. What was the youth that can't serve?
66%, 66 or 67%. Or maybe it's even higher. I don't remember now.
So at least 60.
3/4 basically of our youth, by the time that they are age appropriate for the military, won't be able to enlist.
And so we're not having more kids. So we are seeing a population that's going down. And now, wasn't it 77? Was it 77?
Yeah, it was probably that.
So, and 77% of the people cannot serve. And so that's scary, people. And this is how metabolically ill we have become.
Well, by the time they find that out, they'll change the rules because that's just what they do.
To let people in or what? Oh, have a whole lot of remote tanks and drones. But once again, if you want to see where you stand, and a BIA is a non-invasive, pads go on your finger and your wrist, they go on your foot and your ankle. We run a current that you cannot perceive. I think it's 700 and some odd different currents that go through the body. You don't know, takes less than a second. We get 2 numbers off of that, and then we start to plug that into the computer. And what that does for you is it starts to say, hey, this is how much body fat you are. This is how much muscle mass you are. This is how much bone and inanimate tissue you are. This is how much water is inside the cell. This is how much water is outside the cell, which is a measure of toxicity. And then it goes into the phase angle, which is the cell health. And it's just good information to know. I think we run that thing normally for $50, right? And so for the month of September of 2024, if you want to come in and get a BIA for free, that's my birthday present to you. Come in and check it out and just see where you're at. With that being said, you all have a wonderful evening and get and stay healthy. Learn about foundational health. Go to our website, sign up for the newsletter. We send out a monthly newsletter. I know my article this month is on foundational health. The article that we wrote for Brains is on foundational health. We are giving away tons of information that is just designed to get you to a good, solid base so that you can now go and get healthy and do what you need to do. Have a great day. Get outside and enjoy it. It is absolutely gorgeous. We love you all. Thank you. Bye-bye.